Welcome, everyone. I am Chris Gore. Happy to see you here on a Wednesday for a Hollywood on the Rocks edition of the Film Threat livecast. Happy to see you here. Hope you're all doing well. I apologize for being a little bit late today. That's right, a little bit late. I did, of course, the Nerdrotic Nooner with Gary Beekler. We talked about a lot of nerd stuff. I hope that some of you who are watching that stream are here to join us. Welcome to the party. Right now we stream twice weekly, Friday mornings at 9 a.m. Pacific time, where we talk about whatever new movies are opening in theaters. Our Wednesday live stream is a little bit different. On our Wednesday live stream, we do things like, I don't know, like what we're about to do. We're about to put LucasFilm and Disney on trial for the murder of the Star Wars franchise. And this first day, what we're going to discuss is what the specific charges are. And then we're going to invite other people to come on to argue this case. I do have a gavel. Once we get into the formal aspect of the trial, we're gonna treat this very seriously. So buckle up for this. We're gonna have a lot of fun. And thank you for joining us. Here we go.
Oh, hey, we are.
Hey, welcome everyone. Let's see. Alan Ng is here.
Yes, we got to turn that music off.
Alan Ng is here. Alan is the editor-in-chief of FilmThreat.com, who's wearing a very patriotic Film Threat t-shirt. It says free to be indie. My t-shirt just says Film Threat. That's all it says.
Yeah, we're here to celebrate independent films, and this is a great time to be an American too. So why not?
So it's a great day. I hope I had some. I did the Nerdrotic Nooner a little bit late from that, and then also I was having some audio problems. So I hope do I sound okay? If there's anyone in the chat, let me know. I rushed to get this ready, so I'm not quite ready. But while I'm getting things set, Alan, can you create some little banners for us?
Some what?
All right, great. I'll do it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Just like
running the website. It's
yeah.
Oh, a banner. Well,
no, I'm just gonna do it. I'll do it.
I know. Hey, but it's great to see your face for once on a stream. So that's always a good thing.
Yeah, no, I'm going to do this. First of all, who's in the chat? Say hi to people in the chat while I'm doing this.
Okay, yeah, let's do this. All right. Hey, Ferd Turgeson, welcome to the chat, LMAO. Let's see. We got Zax in here. Hail, Zax. Let me stream up here. Son of the Red Fox. Yeah, I didn't miss stream. Welcome to the stream. Jack D. Ripper's here. Yeah, I'm here. I'm here, folks. Flaccid Phoenix is of course here. Chris is so into this court thing, he dyed his hair white to be the judge. I know.
Thank you, Flaccid Phoenix. Actually, yeah, I don't need to wear a wig. It's like my hair is like one of those old school wigs.
We just need to throw some powder in there.
I don't need to powder a wig, just my hair. But let's, as we're getting started here, I just want to say when you're watching Hollywood on the Rocks, take a shot when someone talks about movies, which is every show. Support us and buy something. Go to shop.filmthreat.com. My shirt just says Film Threat. It's not very interesting. Yours says free to be indie. I like that. And then also, if you like free stuff, if you like stuff for free, the economy's got you down. Things are very expensive these days. If you want something for free, well, I'll send you this sticker. I just shipped out 4 large packages to people who sent me very large envelopes, and they put a lot of postage on it. One guy from San Francisco put a ton of postage on his package, so I sent him like a stack of DVDs. So the larger the envelope with the more postage on it, the more free things I can send you, like Film Threat stickers and DVDs and other cool stuff. So I like to give things away just because when I was a kid, and whenever I got anything for free, I thought it was really cool. So send us your self-addressed stamped envelope to Film Threat 5042 Wilshire Boulevard, PMB 1500, Los Angeles, California 90036. And as always, please like, share, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and click that bell for notifications so you know when we go live, which, look, I'm going to do my best to not be late in the future. I think it's really important to do a show on time. I will be making sure that we may have to adjust the time of the show slightly, but we'll be starting on time. And look, follow us on all the socials. We're Film Threat and everything. I'm getting this out of the way so I don't have to talk about it during the show, because as you know, Film Threat t-shirts, they're not just comfortable to wear, they cure nudity on contact. So I don't think I need to tell you this to join the conversation and post your questions, because you are going to be participating in this. You are a part of this. And subscribe to our Film Threat email newsletter for alerts and updates, including this show going live. So just go to filmthreat.com/newsletter. Now, let's get right to it. We are filing these charges. This is fans filing charges for the murder of the Star Wars franchise. We just wrapped up the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. We did a live stream about it. Other people have done videos about it. And before we get into these charges, I just want to say I thought the show was a colossal disappointment. I think that more information has come out from one of the original screenwriters when it was originally Kenobi was supposed to be a movie. In fact, I saw somewhere that was going to be a trilogy of movies. I don't know how you make a trilogy. I guess you could make a trilogy between the events of Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. I don't know how that squares with canon. Lucasfilm doesn't seem to care about canon all that much. Do things line up? Does it make sense? No. But I was really, really looking forward to this. It was sort of the one thing where, like, all right, well, you kind of like, I feel like there were some loose ends at the end of Revenge of the Sith that I would have liked to have seen wrapped up. And there are some interesting stories to be told in that period of time. I thought it was a colossal failure for a number of reasons. And I think we kind of knew things were not going to go well when fans are being accused of, if you don't like this character, you're a racist. And I think that that's a terrible way to promote a show. I don't doubt. I mean, look, if you're on the internet, you're going to get some people who say inappropriate things and things that are fairly ugly. And, this is not a set phasers to ignore. I know it's not a Star Wars reference. Set phasers to ignore. But Alan, what were your thoughts now that Kenobi has come out and people have had a chance to? It's a week since the series been over. We've had a chance to digest it.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I said it before the series came out. I go, if there was any hope for Star Wars, it's the Kenobi series. And like you said, to me, it was a colossal disappointment. It was the worst. And I talked about last time, but this idea of excellence and innovation that George Lucas brought to his films. I'm not going to say that the prequels were the greatest stories ever told, but certainly had fun. But and he was innovating the technology. He was innovating storytelling. None of that was in Kenobi. And it just, I don't know. The other thing that bothers me about Kenobi is the fact that you could literally cut. You could have never have seen Kenobi, and it makes no impact on the overall story of Star Wars at all. Just the simple idea of Obi-Wan rescues Princess Leia, who gets kidnapped. He meets Darth Vader. I mean, there's just, you would think if they're in that meeting there, that there would be something colossal, something monumental that ultimately shapes, the two characters. And it didn't. And I think the intent was there, but the storytelling and the script writing was just so horrible, just so amateurish. I always say if I could do it, it's a bad movie. If I could write this, it's bad, because I'm not a professional writer. And I felt like I could have written this whole series myself. And, it's just, what is up with Disney and not wanting to hire people who are good at their jobs, who are excellent at their jobs? You certainly have enough money to do that.
Right. I mean, a lot. Just so much of it. What it's doing is it's ruining the legacy and ruining those original stories. Right.
Yeah.
I mean, can you think
It's
of
devaluing it? It's devaluing those original stories.
Right. It's not only devaluing it. I just think about, like, you know, how that's going to square. And has there ever been in history a great story told that we all agree this is a great story, where they made a prequel or a sequel that, well, sequels they've made that have been very good.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, like with sort of within that timeline, but I don't know that we've seen like a prequel story that's really hit the mark.
I mean, Godfather. Can you consider Godfather a prequel?
Well, I mean, Godfather 2 is sort of a prequel and a sequel happening at the same time. And I guess that might be the best example because, you know, many have argued, and I would agree, that Godfather 2 is in some ways superior to Godfather 1. And I would love to see, I've often mentioned this, and I know that a lot of the people in our chat, we're going to go to the chat in just a minute here, that, you know, I'd love to see the story, because the story arc, the character arc of Luke Skywalker's story becoming a Jedi, right? And seeking, at least in the last part of the story, seeking the redemption of his father, bringing him to the good side, right? Which is very Christian, to Anakin's fall from grace, you know, into darkness. So it's like Luke into the light, Anakin to the darkness. I'd love to see a Godfather 2 cut of the prequels and the sequels mixed up, where they just cut out all the nonsense and unnecessary stuff and just keep it focused on telling Luke's story and Anakin's story, but in parallel.
Yeah.
That would be great. If there's got to be some ambitious filmmakers that want to learn editing software that could probably make something like that. I'd love to see it. The
problem is the available source material is so sparse and so horrible that I don't know that you could make a good fan cut, but hey, there's the challenge.
Well, let's get into some comments before. I have a Google Doc, and we are going to make this Google Doc together. No, I'm serious. I have a Google Doc with a list.
Absolutely.
I'm thinking there's probably about 10 or more different arguments. We may add those arguments, but what we'll be doing then is inviting other people who have spoken out in this space to present their case. And then we're going to have other people come on to defend Star Wars. It's going to be, and then there'll be a debate and final arguments. And then you, everyone watching in the chat, you're the jury. You're the jury, ultimately. Okay? So here you go. I'm going to go through the chat real quick. We got some super chats here, so let's get to those. Super Grova for $5 says, Count Dooku said it best. I've been looking forward to this. Ran right here from Gary's, which is how I found you a month ago. Permafan now. Thank you, Super Grova. Thank you for your $5. I appreciate that. That's awesome. George Molo. George. For $49.99. Thank you for that. All hail to the man with the plan. All hail Chris Gore for opening my eyes to a new world of explosive color, sound, and story. Thank you, Chris, for recommending RRR to me. I'm now diving deep into the Telugu film rabbit hole, and I'm forever grateful. George Molo, who has his own channel, I need to give George a plug, George the Giant Slayer, and we knew RRR was going to come up this stream. I'm glad I didn't have to bring it up. George just dropped a video. I watched it. It was so great. I watched it this morning. It's his review of RRR. And I assume George went in completely not knowing anything. He watched the film, and I know from his review he loved it, and it just opened up a whole new world. George, I would recommend KGF Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. George, thank you for that super chat. That's awesome. Wow. Love that. Let's see what other, we had another super chat here. Oh, 99-cent super sticker from Supreme Court Justice Buttcrack. Well, thank you for that. Maybe we'll get, maybe Count Dankula will come in here, and
maybe
that's a whole other thing. Fletcher Williams for $1.99 says release the Allen cut. I think just for that.
Okay.
Just
Do it.
for that.
Just do it.
Well, there you go. And then
There
I've
you
got
go.
some other videos that I'm not sure if they'll get us demonetized. I don't know if I should show it.
Yeah.
Maybe we can cut up this video, or we can fight it. I'm resisting showing a couple videos that we've prepared. I think we're gonna wait, but let's get to some more comments.
Go to the Twitter page or our Twitter account, or I
Yes,
think it's on
Twitter,
Facebook as well.
Instagram.
You'll see some great videos there.
Douglas Ernst for $1.99 says, "You guys big fans of the colored in movies? I love color movies. I love, and technically speaking, we're all colored. So I never understood that term, but what? Yeah.
Well, you will never hear me ever say, "I wish this movie had more white people in it."
You're never gonna say that? Okay.
I will never say it.
Infinite Main for $10 says, "Skip the trial and execute Order 66 on the entire Lucasfilm story group."
Yeah. Well, maybe with Chapek's new contract,
we'll
he may
see.
just do that.
And Fearter for £2 says, "Amber, my ATST stood on a Ewok. Hail Film Thread." Thank you, and Fearter, for that. We really appreciate it. Mike Waite for 20 says, "Can we have Q from TNG bring up the charges against Star Wars?" Mike from Seattle, born and raised. Hey, Mike Waite, thank you for that. Appreciate that. Love the hat too. That's awesome. And let's see. WJ says, "Just got here. What is the lawsuit over?" This is not a real lawsuit. This is fans listing grievances against Lucasfilm and Disney for the murder of the Star Wars franchise. That's what this is. And what we're doing today is we're just creating what the charges are. So I kicked it off with like 4 or 5 things. I'm going to share screen in a minute, and we'll go over what I've come up with. And Alan, I want to hear from you. Flaccid Phoenix. Flaccid Phoenix is Flaccid Phoenix. We come for Chris and stay for Alan's nipples. Well, of course you do. Of course you do. And Joshua Levesque says, "Hail, Chris and Alan. Hope you're having a great day. Appreciate what you do here." Thank you, Joshua.
Hey, Joshua.
Your comment. That's great.
I did see your DM, by the way, and I have no idea how any of that works. So,
well, we'll figure it out. We've got over 500 people watching live. Smash that like button. Let's get this video trending. Let's get it. Let's get it so other people can check it out. Ram says, "White is a color. Black is the absence of color." All right. Well, okay. Well, there you go.
It depends. It depends what medium you're using. If you're talking about light, then yes. If you're talking about paint, then black is actually the inclusion of every color.
There you go. Philip Almarez said for $9.99 says, "Ever notice the stormtroopers when they get shot or take a hit, it's always a one-shot instant kill? I've never seen a stormtrooper grazed or injured on the leg or arm. Why is that?" I think that happened a couple times in the Kenobi series, just to be fair, but I don't understand the purpose of their armor. If mostly they're being shot by laser blasts, wouldn't they create some armor that deflected those blasts, or maybe a shield? Maybe it has to do with budget cuts for the Empire, right?
Yeah. Well, remember, one stormtrooper got elbowed in the face in the helmet and was knocked out that way.
Right, which is sort of ridiculous. Here we go. Kev Burke 1 says, "Who is on trial? Disney? Is George Lucas a co-defendant?" George Lucas should be. George Lucas should be. Michael Boryoko says, "Just blame Gary, lol." I will blame Gary. I think we explained that one. What is the lawsuit over? This is a fun. We're going to have fun kind of going over what are the main arguments that people have made. And I feel like the recent reaction to Kenobi just sort of put me over the edge, me personally. So I feel like we need to have this conversation. Also, it's just another excuse to talk about Star Wars. And my friend, Jeff Tucker time. "Star Wars is dead unless they announce an adaptation of Splinter of the Mind's Eye," which was the sequel novel to Star Wars, which was the low budget script that George Lucas wanted to do. If Star Wars failed at the box office, he was going to make Splinter of the Mind's Eye, which I strongly recommend that you read that novel. And Jeff Tucker you're going to be on the show, because you're going to be arguing one of our points here. So thank you that for Jeff. Patrick Lemire says black belts are created by adding colors to belt until you hit black level. What is this? What is this discussion of color? Let's talk. Let's keep this focused on Star Wars here. You know, enter head prosecutor Gina Carano, says Sharkbait Radio Pictures for £5. Gina Carano, I'm going to guess, will be a part of this discussion at some point. So, Brain Sync, charge number 1, they destroyed the legacy characters. Are you a mind reader? What happened?
Yeah, I'm trying to star these things, and then it moves, and then I accidentally activate it. So
actually, just unstar the ones. That way it's easier for me to keep up.
Yeah.
Paul Lucas for 20 says, does Film Thread have a list of top movies and TV shows on their websites? I enjoy your recommendations. Thank you, and love the idea of Lucasfilm on trial. Well, thank you, Paul Lucas, for 20. This is going to be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. So let's get right to it. We're going to come back to all your chat questions and comments. Let's keep it focused on Star Wars related stuff. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole of color theory. I actually have an entire book about coloring comic books and just sort of theories about what certain colors and contrasts of colors mean. Yes, I also have books on fonts. So there you go. But let me share screen here. I got to stop that. And I'm going to share the Google document that I'm in the midst of creating. And here we go. This is case number 1138. Fans versus Lucasfilm Disney for the murder of the Star Wars franchise. Can I zoom into that? How do I make that larger?
Yeah, I think in view, you should be able to magnify it.
Yeah, let me do that right now so we can see this better.
Is that it?
Is that better?
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Cool.
I think you just increase the font size, but yeah,
cool.
That works.
All right, either way. Case number 1138, the fans versus Lucasfilm Disney for the murder of the Star Wars franchise. Charge number 1, failure to reunite the legacy characters in the Disney Star Wars sequel trilogy. Is there a better way to word this so it sounds more legal? What do people think? And let's keep the comments that we choose to put up on screen, let's keep them relevant to what we're talking about. Charge number 1. Is it, someone just mentioned it. We just had that person's chat up here. Failure to reunite the legacy characters in the Disney Star Wars sequel trilogy. The disrespectful deaths, disrespectful demises of Han, Luke, and Leia. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's almost the literal murders of Han, Luke, and Leia.
I don't know if demises is a word. I don't think that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's sort of number 1. When I first heard, let's talk about this for a bit. When I first heard, and also everyone, calm down. Calm down. I'm serious. You have to, like, everybody calm down. I actually did order a judge's robe, so I have it coming, and I have this. So everyone, please. It's going to be much more formal. What we're doing here is we're actually just deciding what the charges are, and I need your help. And Jinx even says, Jinx very rightly points out, we should charge Chris for not being on time. Jinx, I will accept that, and I will be on time in the future. We will be on time in the future. So thank you for that, Jinx. Thank you for pointing that out. I'm going to do my best. And Masters of the Nerddom, court is now in session. All rise for the Honorable Chris the Hammer Gore. That's what I'm going to be known for. BrainSync says this is going to be epic. I can feel it. Well, there you go. But let's really talk about this one. Is there a better way to word it? If anybody has any suggestions, please throw them in the chat. But I really want to make this so that someone can argue it. It's got to be very simply laid out. These can't be more than like, it's got to be like a sentence or a phrase, like a brief, like these are the charges. Just like when, in real court, when you're charging people, right? This is when I first heard there was going to be a sequel trilogy, and Mark Hamill, then this is 2012, 2013 when it was announced? I believe it was maybe 2012, 2013.
Which announcement?
The announcement, Alan, you can Google this stuff and then
but I need to know what announcement you're talking about.
When they announced that Disney had acquired Lucasfilm and that they were going to make a sequel trilogy, the first thing I thought was they're going to get the band back together. They're going to have Han, Luke, and Leia in a movie, and they're going to have further adventures. I assumed that they would introduce new characters because that's what every Star Wars movie does. We get to know new characters, enter the universe. That's great.
It was 2012. Sorry.
Yes, it was 2012. This is great. Alan.
Yeah, and then
Alan's always a step or two, I want to say, ahead of me.
Isn't that what you asked me? Isn't that what you asked me to look at?
Well, I knew it was around 2012, 2013. In any case, so the first thing I think is they're going to reunite them. The first thing I thought when I was a kid, and they're going to make Star Trek the motion picture. There's even a. I remember seeing the trailers for it. Kirk, Spock, McCoy are in many scenes together. You can argue the merits of Star Trek the motion picture all you want. You can argue those merits. The good or the bad. Some people say, oh, it's too slow. It's too, look, I Star Trek the motion picture, because of when I saw it when I was a kid and how much of a Star Trek fan I am. I really, it's my personal favorite. Obviously Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. There are other good films in there. The one with the whales. No one ever remembers the name of that movie. It's called The Voyage Home. In any case, the first thing you do when you sit down and you're going to make sequels to Star Wars, the original Star Wars trilogy, which were 77 to 1983, and you've got Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, and Carrie Fisher, and Billy D. Williams for that matter, and they're all alive, you put them in the movie together in a scene, at least one scene, if not an entire movie having adventures together. And Disney's failure to do the most very basic thing in that first Star Wars movie that was released in 2015 was a bad omen. And that's the first charge. That is the first charge. And we're going to be presenting evidence. We're going to be talking. We're going to be discussing story ideas and concepts. We're going to be discussing George Lucas's original vision for episodes 7, 8, and 9. But that is our first charge. I don't know that there's a charge.
I think Bordeaux says it, fraudulent misrepresentation. I would call it bait and switch. The idea that they had announced that.
I'm adding that.
Harrison, Carey, and Mark were going to be in this movie. And so there was an expectation that they were going to be on screen together at the same time at some point, and it never happened. So there's a built-up expectation and the inability to come through with it. Bait and switch, basically. We all wanted to see this movie, to see the three of them together, and they didn't do it, and they couldn't do it.
Well, thank you for that, Bordeaux. Let's get some comments. Alan, why don't you go through the comments?
Okay.
But specifically in reference to charge number 1, Son of the Red Fox, Lucasfilm failed to utilize the potential of reuniting legacy characters, particularly Han, Luke, and Leia, in order to establish a foundation for a new story and thus introduce new characters. Son of the Red Fox, great comment there. Appreciate that. I'm going to unstar any comment that mentions Alan.
Yeah.
Because BrainSync says...
Sorry.
Right.
I thought you were... Okay, one person.
Failure to reunite legacy characters for no good plot story reason. Yeah, Flaccid Phoenix, 100% would agree with that assessment. Definitely. Let's see. You know what? I think I need to run the chat, Alan, because
because I'm falling behind here.
You're falling behind. You're like putting up stuff that does. Okay, let's go to this. Powdered Toast Man, a great character from the John Kricfalusi Ren and Stimpy series. We're not going to go down a rabbit hole with that. There's a documentary that talks about that. Powdered Toast Man for $5 says, I always felt the Stormtrooper armor was to protect against flak from explosions, like the body armor used in Vietnam that wouldn't stop bullets. Makes sense. Powdered Toast Man, I accept that answer. Love that. John, long last name. Can we get Pablo Hidalgo as a witness? We can invite him. Whether he chooses to participate, up to him. I would love if he would participate. I knew Pablo back in the day. Back in the Force. Do people remember the Force.net? Anyone out there remember the Force.net? Brain Sync, charge number 1, they destroyed the legacy characters. Yeah, I would say disrespectful demise of Han, Luke, and Leia. Yeah, just, I was joking actually that, they relaunched G4 TV as a network. And I thought, wouldn't it be funny if they just brought back on all the legacy hosts like myself, brought us on and one by one just killed us off. Just like Disney did with the Star Wars characters. I think that would be funny. Like, I actually think that makes sense for G4, is just have me come on, do a final episode of DVD Streams Day, not DVDs Day, DVD Streams Day or DVD Blu-ray Day, whatever. I come on and I just get horribly murdered. So there you go. Great one, Brain Sync. We're still in a recession. Better armor costs money, Chris. Makes sense. If Camille Vasquez doesn't show up, I will be disappointed, says Dieter Bastian. Is Camille Vasquez someone that should be part of this trial? Alan, why don't you look up Camille Vasquez? Dieter Bastian. Yeah. Alan, when Alan gets on the stream, a lot of times I'll look at Alan's face.
I know, and
he's just listening to the show.
No,
I'm like, Alan, you can be contributing.
I was looking. Yes, Camille Vasquez is Johnny Depp's lawyer.
Great. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry.
Right,
I should have known that. I should have known that. Camille Vasquez. Alan, you're supposed to make me look smart.
Yeah, I know. Well, I'm trying to star these things. I'm trying to look for the right.
I got plenty starred. I got more than let's go through this. Let's get through this. We're gonna go. I feel like charge number 1 is pretty solid. Unless someone has should we rewrite it? Because we're gonna publish this online. Kara says, I agree with number 1. Okay, thank you, Kara. Appreciate that. Tucker Time says, charge, giving origins to things that don't need origins. Han's last name, the Falcon's computer. That is an interesting charge. And I feel like there's maybe a better way to word that. I'm going to put that lower on the charge list. Demystifying elements of Star Wars. If I can spell demystify.
Mm-hmm.
Demystifying elements of Star Wars that made the story worse.
Yeah. I mean, you get the sense that the Force is becoming more or less psychic powers now than having some kind of mythology behind it.
Right.
That we're just refusing to even explore that anymore.
Right. There's probably going to be even more. Like, this is on the level of evidence. Solo's last name. What else did Mr. Tucker put there? The Falcon's computer. True.
All right.
This is a good one. It's going in.
Yeah. All right.
Lando's pervy robot. Lando's robot obsession. I want to hear real specific, not necessarily evidence. We're not doing evidence right now, but that's a good one. And I misspelled demystify. There we go. Thank you, Google, for that. Charge number 5.
Right. Do we want to go over 2?
Let's go over 2. Failed to create any new meaningful characters that would not be considered derivatives of classic OT characters. I'm not sure if I agree with that one.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, I
not
think
specific enough. I'm
yeah.
gonna change that.
I mean, what were you going for? I think the issue is, for some reason Lucas was able to create characters that the current crew is not able to create.
Breaking canon.
Okay.
Created more canon issues rather than solving them with interesting storytelling. I think breaking canon is that's got to be number 2, right? Does everyone agree on that? I mean, debate me if you feel that's not, but I think fraudulent representation, breaking canon, what else? Oh, I know. Failed to have a plan. That could even move to number 1. Okay, by failing. What else, Alan? Go through some of these other while I'm typing.
Okay, let me grab these. Let's see. Maybe we're back to colored here.
We don't need those.
I know. All right. Do I need to go through these live? I think one thing that we haven't talked about is just the injection of woke culture into the franchise when it never started that way.
That's going to be charge number. I'm moving charges around because I really want to be able to put this out there.
The idea of Star Wars should be a kind of a timeless story, and yet we're bringing in current hangups of the world into it, and then trying to basically we're politicizing Star Wars.
Current day, do we want to say politics?
Yeah, current day politics. The politicization of Star Wars, maybe.
I got it.
All right. I think you talked about it somewhat, but the checkboxing, the aspect of checkboxing our story.
Yeah, I've discussed that before. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna let you finish typing there.
You know how in radio there's never any dead time?
Yeah, we got it in spades this time.
Alan, by the way, Alan is a master improv comedian. Yes. You wouldn't know that. You wouldn't actually know that from watching this. He is a master at this.
Yeah, charge number 7, calling a ladder a ladder. And then the lack of universal, and then the lack of Galaxian healthcare of any kind.
Let's see. Let's go. Let me go through some of these things here as we're kind of mapping this out. I want to make sure that it makes sense. Like if you went and argued and debated these things, I mean, we're going to have with arguments the debate and the evidence, right? These are simply the charges. That's all we're doing today. We are laying out the charges only. That's all. And we're going to wrap up in the next hour or so. But I want to go through. We have a lot of chat questions and super chats here. Let me get to all of those. I'm going to start with super chats. Alan, you have access to this document. Can you go in the document as well?
Okay.
Why don't we switch up the roles?
Did you post it? Did you post it in? Okay. I'm pulling up River now.
It's in River. You can also just go to docs.google.com if you're signed in. By the way, I love to tease Alan, if you haven't noticed, which is super fun for us to work together. So, yeah.
Did you say? Okay.
Smash that like button. We've got over 700 people watching live here. And thank you. If you came from the Nerdrotic Nooner, this is not normally what we do. Normally what we do is we talk about movies. Alan and I are both seeing. In fact, Alan, I'm going to see you in a few hours.
Yes.
We are.
Oh, I'm sorry. Keep going.
Yeah, we're seeing Thor: Love and Thunder at the AMC Burbank 16. We'll be pre-gaming at the Yard House, and Dante James is going to join us there. Dante has been on the Film Threat livecast before, and on Friday we're going to do our reaction to Thor. So Thor: Love and Thunder, we're going to give our early reaction to the movie. It'll be no spoilers, by the way, even though spoilers are already starting to leak. But if you do ask me a question, I have this thing where, like, if someone asks me a question, I feel obligated to just answer brutally honestly. So if you ask me a question and you want to hear the answer, I may tell you. But Flaccid Phoenix, who's our moderating, our producer, doing an amazing job today, is telling me to remind you, smash that like button. Wait, and I'll do it. See,
Yeah,
but if I do it, I have to take it off screen for a second.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Let me remove it just for a second here.
Yeah.
And I'll share it.
One charge I have here is basically a blatant disregard for fandom. It just feels like they don't care about.
Let me share this.
Anymore.
I'm going to share this in another place. You know where I'm going to share it. So there it is. You should have received that.
Got it.
Let me go back to that.
Okay, I'm in.
So, okay, good. So Alan, why don't you take over the creation of this document? Okay. I want to make sure that the people's voice is heard. So I'm going to go through super chats, getting priority today because we're really slammed. But Sharkbait Radio Pictures, £5 for the negligent and disrespectful erasure of legacy characters. I think charge number 1 actually does cover that. Alan, I'm going to add it back to the stream here. But yeah, no, that's 100%. Funny Pictures Comics for 5 says, your DVD Tuesday was the highlight of my week. Really missed that. Well, let me see. Do I have any DVDs here that people would want? I do in the other. Most of my DVDs I have them very well organized, by the way. But I don't have any at the ready to show you. But thank you for that. I recommend you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be right back because I really want to show you something. I'll be right back. Hold tight. Tight. Just give me a minute.
All right. I'll just go over some of the comments here. Disney Star Wars, I assume, is dead. Lucasfilm has neither the talent nor the will to make good stories. Plus, they are infected with leftist disinterest agenda that overrides all. Thank you, Michael Sigriff. Yeah, absolutely. Jose Contreras, Chris the debit was, I can't even read these things, but Dangle didn't sue them and had to change the way they do business. Interesting story at long shot. Okay, so that's a note to Chris. Film Threat is my favorite channel. Thanks, Rogstar. We have a charge here from Tucker Time. Giving origins to things that don't need origins. Okay, did we talk about that one? Yeah. All right, let's move down a bit here. Mexican Iron Man. Hey, thanks for following. I'm going to follow you back. But Mexican Iron Man says for $9.99, as the owner of 26 lightsabers and more than 30 years of lightsaber combat, I'm prepared to testify against the heresy that is Disney Star Wars lightsaber usage. That's very interesting. Something, as cool as it looked, something did feel off to me about that. There we go. Charge here. Mexican Iron Man once again. Weapons charge Class A cultural felony. Failure in the proper use of handling. Okay, I think you said that. Handling the correct lethal force use of a lightsaber and blatant disregard for an elegant weapon from a civilized time.
Thank you, Mexican Iron Man. Love your support. And I agree with you. I think I was watching Red Letter Media did a review of the last 2 episodes of Kenobi, and Mike Stoklasa made a really interesting point that he thought that, like, you needed to be strong with the Force to actually use a lightsaber. You can't just lift it up. There's like something, it's like there's so much power pulsating in that in the laser that you need to actually be strong in the Force even to be able to wield a lightsaber. So I think that would have been interesting had they gone into that a little bit more. Thank you for that, Mexican Iron Man. Real quick, I'm just going to show you this. This is the 1994 Fantastic Four movie made by Roger Corman. You can get it for $10 from the guy who made the documentary called Doomed. I don't know that it's going to be around for very long, but the original director put this out. So for those of you that were, talking about DVD Doomsday, this is on the internet, available for $10. And where can you get it? Oh my God, there's no website on here, but look it up. I feel like if you Google it, you could find it. But it has a director commentary, and I was there during the shooting of this movie. And it may be the best Fantastic Four movie ever made in the end, oddly. Looking back, it may end up being that. Let's go back to the charges here. Thank you, Mike, for that. Ministry of Wrong Thing for $4.99. Nerfing lightsabers and making death and stakes meaningless has to be on the list. Yeah, I mean, there's just some weird story things that I think a lot of us could debate. I really want to keep this focused on, and thank you for your suggestion and the super chat, Ministry of Wrong Thing. I want to keep the focus on something so simple that it's almost something that when you state it, it's irrefutable, right? Mm-hmm. Now, in order to amplify each of these arguments, we'll be presenting evidence. We'll be showing video. We'll show pictures. We'll have experts come on and explain this. But it needs to be, when you hear the charge, you're like, oh yeah, Disney really did that. I mean, look, if you're presenting a murder case, you have a dead body, right? We have this franchise that has not just the fans arguing amongst themselves, but the official Star Wars account, and that has to be somehow treatment of fans has to be one of the charges, Alan. Mm-hmm. Treatment of fans.
Yeah, I have
dividing the fandom and treatment of fans.
Yeah, I have that as number 6, the treatment of fans.
Yeah. Blatant disregard for fandom, treatment of fans by the officials. Look, we have an official Film Threat Twitter account, and it's all just positivity and like, hey, we're doing this, we're doing that. You want to participate in this? We don't really get into debates. The Film Threat Twitter account. The Film Threat Twitter account doesn't have an opinion. The Film Threat Twitter account is not on one side of a political issue or another. We review movies. Most of the movies we review are indie movies, and we tell you here's where the movie is reviewed. Now, if you want to go to the Film Threat website and post a comment on a review, let's say you disagreed with the review or you didn't like it, or or maybe you have a different opinion, or you loved it better than we, than the rating that Film Threat gave it, feel free to have your own opinion about it. But the Film Threat Twitter account has, to my knowledge, never been used to go after anyone or attack people. Yeah, Patrick Lemire said, and thank you, Ministry of Wrong Thing. Patrick Lemire says attacking fans and making false claims. Alan, you got to add that.
Yeah. Attacking
fans and making false claims. And these are my official people who work at Disney Lucasfilm. This is why I don't understand. Sean Wickett. Oh, this looks like a good one. Sean Wickett, charge, bait and switch of everything.
I believe that goes to point 1, to charge number 1.
Yes. BrainSync says charge, nostalgia bait, rehash of previous tropes. Yeah, I mean, has that contributed to the murder of the franchise? Maybe. I would definitely add that. We definitely need to have like these sort of lesser charges, right? But I would add that to the list, Alan. Nostalgia bait. Rehash
number 10.
Tropes. Okay, great. Let's get to CD Stein 69 for $4.99. I always love to say that, CD Stein 69. Another charge should be allowing the complete incompetence of Kathleen Kennedy to have any creative control of any franchise property. I kind of feel like after that, I know a lot of people like really did not, when The Last Jedi came out, they were like, I'm out. I didn't like the first movie, The Force Awakens. I was like, what is this? And the way, I mean, I guess the death of Han Solo, I kind of want to add that in there. I'm just going to add it. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I got to add that, the death of Han Solo. It's just, it might be one of the worst movie deaths of all time.
I would more say the more meaningless deaths of all time.
Yeah, just because Harrison Ford didn't want to do it in cinema history. Got to be dramatic. I just want because we're gonna make like a little graphic of this that is memeable.
Mm-hmm.
And what I really want is that it's like, oh, that's kind of irrefutable, or like, oh, they really did do that. Like, you know, it's hard to argue it, right? When the evidence is just right there. Paul Lucas for 20. Thank you, Paul Lucas CA for 20. Introducing force healing. I would say it's not necessarily the introduction of force healing, but changing. I don't know. Does that fall under canon?
Yeah, because I feel like,
how does that fit?
You know, I feel like the Force is getting to a point where it's used for plot convenience as opposed to some kind of power or ability that has to do with the lore of the Force. You know,
Well, that goes to breaking canon and breaking your own rules. Kind of like on the Red Letter Media video, they pointed out that, like, you know, when Darth Vader goes on Hoth and he's walking, you see the Millennium Falcon take off. Why didn't he just use his power to grab a spaceship? Why didn't he do that then? You know, when you're changing these things, what it does is it makes you look back at the old things. Well, why didn't he do that at that time? Did he somehow not have that power at that time? Like, you know, yeah, introducing force healing, just sort of there has to be something along that lines. I think we can massage that one. And I don't know that we're going to complete this document today, but we're at least going to lay out the main charges. And thank you. All these suggestions are very good.
Yeah.
Let me get to a couple more of these. The Night Clerk for $10 is charge defamation of Luke Skywalker. The character they wrote was not Luke Skywalker. Yeah.
All right.
100%.
Defamation of category.
We're getting and there's some, let me, Etienne Fallardo. Please forgive me. Please forgive me for the mispronunciation here. For $5 says plagiarism of things that came before it, but they removed from canon, but made worse. Okay. I know what you're saying, Etienne. That is the destruction, not destruction. What did they do? Getting rid of the extended universe. Getting somehow, how do we word this, Alan? Getting rid of the extended universe, but then using ideas from the extended universe. Does that, like, how does that?
Yeah, you know, I feel like maybe it's like identity theft in the way that, you know, they're trying to present a different kind of product to us today.
Right.
You know, stealing its identity and then presenting it in a new way. Are you gonna put that one down?
Yeah, I'm gonna put down the EU. I mean, you can keep. It's not destroying the EU. Not canon. Then using ideas from it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, that's charge number 12. I don't know what our format is here, but we're gonna be. This is a document that we're gonna work on.
Yeah, we have to. Yeah, afterwards we're just gonna have to compile it into a series of charges that we can actually prosecute.
I want it to sound, like I say, I want it to be when you hear it, it sounds irrefutable. That way, you know, this is something that can be continued to be discussed.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and it should also sound legal as well, since we're in a courtroom setting.
We will be in a courtroom setting. My robe hasn't arrived yet. My robe has not arrived, Alan. Okay, let's get to more of these chats here. Thank you, Etienne. That was that was good. I know that we had to put the EU in there somewhere, but we're gonna keep, and then we're gonna continue to share this with everyone. Dieter Bastian says, "Charge, giving us a little hope back with Mando, and taking away afterwards with Boba and Obi-Wan." I would say this. What's the simple way of saying it? Milking the franchise. Does that fit?
Or the exploitation of the franchise.
Yeah. Or milking the franchise to death. That's a good one. Todd Packer. Politics over storytelling. Yeah. Politics over storytelling. Add that to charge number 4. Thank you, Todd Packer. Also, great photo. I love Todd Packer from The Office. Love that show. Ministry of Wrong thinks is nerfing. Making deaths and stakes meaningless. I think we have that one in there.
I mean, would that kind of be the storytelling charge?
That fits under storytelling, but let's add that. Fake name for $5 says murder of. This is it. Okay, this fits. It's charge number 12, but we may have to move that up. We're going to put them in order of importance. We may have subcharges if things kind of blend. It's like, well, that's kind of fits into this category. We may do like charge number 6A, 6B, etc. Fake name for $5 says murder of the expanded universe with the justification of new stories that were criminally negligent dating of Star Wars with modern slang. I think you're referencing my latter comment, which I'm okay with. Like, look, ladder.
It could also be the IKEA chairs.
The IKEA. My whole point in bringing that up, I know it's ridiculous. I know when I'm being ridiculous and over the top, but we are having fun. These are the kind of over the top. Look, and when some of you meet me, and I know I've met some of you in person when we're talking about this stuff, I'm pretty much the same when I see you as if I'm just doing this. It's just the same person. Okay. So I'll be just as passionate and just as annoyed with Alan, which we're hanging out tonight. It's going to be fun. Yeah. We should do
very cold and quiet at the theater.
Yeah. No, we should do one of those like right out of the theater reactions. Alan, do you want to do that?
Yeah, we could do that.
All right. We'll, Flaccid Phoenix, we'll talk to you, because what I might do is like shoot like a 1 or 2 minute video and then send it to you to upload or something for, I don't know. We'll talk about it after.
Yeah,
but fake name. Yeah. Thank you. The modern slang, it's like, it's just here's my argument against the modern slang. If I could get serious for a minute, it's lazy. It's lazy. It's there's another term, somebody thought up the term hydrospanner. It's pretty much Han Solo was looking for a wrench, but they call it a hydrospanner, which is fine. It's a new way to be creative. It's a new way to kind of ground you in a different reality that isn't our world. And I think it's lazy when modern slang is kind of introduced into fantasy storytelling. I think you want it to be rooted in wherever that fantasy world is. Is it somewhere far in the past, far in the future? It doesn't matter. Just, anything you can do to root it in a different universe is helpful. So,
well, I mean, that's just it. You can't let it feel like now. You can't make it feel like someone had written it today and just put it up there. It has to have a historical feel to it, whether it's in the future or in the past.
Exactly. Now, how do you say this with Flaccid Phoenix? Charge falsely identifying the Force as female. But wait, he has a good point. I don't think the Force is male. I don't think the Force is female. I just think the Force is the Force. So Kathleen Kennedy trying to divide fandom by saying the Force is female. Are you excluding men? Also, maybe this could be the subject for a movie. What is a female? Think about that for a second. We do have a review on the channel. We're one of the few outlets to just review the movie. So
yeah, I think there's only 3 reviews for Terror on the Prairie at the moment too.
There's literally 3 reviews. It's a freaking Western that Gina Carano's in.
I know.
This arrogance amongst some of our colleagues, Alan, is infuriating. But yeah, no, falsely. Somehow we got to do the Force is female, dividing the fandom, and with false claims. False claims. I don't believe the Force is any gender. The Force is just the Force. It's the Force. You got to put that in there, Alan.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. There's two things there. Dividing the fandom is one.
Well, there you go.
And then just kind of, okay.
Mike Waite for 5 says, next charge should be hiring a director who rebooted the Star Trek franchise. You should not mix Star Trek and Star Wars together. Yeah.
He didn't even want to do it.
Talent mismanagement, I think, would be a good thing. I don't know if that's an actual charge, but that's 100% true. I believe in that. Sharkbait Radio Pictures for 5 says, the simplest and most devastating charge, the appointment of Kathleen Kennedy, who broke her word to George Lucas. George thought that he was George Lucas. There's a video of this. Other channels have talked about this quite a bit. There's a video of George Lucas talking to Kathleen Kennedy where he's like, hey, I'm selling Star Wars to Disney. I'm going to write the stories and they're going to go off and make the movies. And that didn't happen. And I think that was irresponsible. Elder abuse of George Lucas. Yeah, I would say that that's 100% true. $2 from Anatorius Vec says, terrorizing fan base with sequel trilogy shilling. Yeah, I can see that. Rogue charge, failure in the video games industry. LucasArts was putting hits out regularly. Disney had one hit game since taking over. Yeah, they were pretty consistently putting out just great games. I don't know that fits this in the order of the franchise, but maybe subpar products. I would say this. Here's a charge. Stick with me on this one, Alan. And let me scroll down so you can see. I want to see what Alan's working on here. Talent mismanagement. Talent mismanagement? You mean talent? There you go. But like the lack of quality control when it comes to games and products, right? Toys. And that was the first thing that I noticed was, oh, these toys are really cheap. These toys for the sequel trilogy are really cheap. They look like, those figures, they're like 12 inches, but they look like they're in a coffin and they have no articulation. That was the first thing I noticed. It's like, oh, this might not be very good. Does anyone remember the Force Fridays at was Toys R Us around, or did they go out of business before that? I know they had it at Target, and I remember going, Alan, charge number 12. Can you fix that?
I put in what? Did you fix it? Which one are we talking about?
Charge number 12. Oh my God.
Here, no, if you're talking about products, I put it in number 6. The disregard for fandom.
There you go. Look, Google fixes it for you. I'm not going to say anything, but this explains a lot.
Sorry, I'm working on the other charges as you're talking.
Okay,
about.
All right. Let me scroll down on that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, how many charges do we have?
We have 12. We have 13.
Right.
13.
We have 13 so far. Well, some of these are going to be combined. Some are going to be more. I really want to go over this. This is just to get these on paper here. On paper, we're not getting.
One thing about products. Do you remember when they banned all Slave Leia products? Yeah.
Oh, Slave Leia and Slave One.
Mm-hmm.
Rewriting history. That's got to be there. Slave Leia, Slave One. They're sort of rewriting history for modern day sensitivities. I mean, yeah. Shucksy has probably, this is my favorite comment of the day. Thank you, Shucksy. Chris, Alan, you made me look stupid. Alan, you have done that to yourself.
I'm taking the high road.
I don't know. Look, I love to just, I don't know, have fun doing this. We're having fun doing this.
Yeah.
And I will tease Alan because that's what any good brother would do. You're my brother, Alan.
But I will destroy you. Right.
I will destroy. I hate you. Okay.
I mean, wasn't that what Kenobi was about?
Yeah. Douglas A. Burton for 20 says first degree murder of Han Solo, identity theft and third degree murder of Luke Skywalker, embezzlement of funds from ticket sales, hate crime literature against the fandom, indecent exposure to Rian Johnson's creative process. Yeah, I think we're trying to bake all this stuff into simple, like actual charges, but all that is kind of woven in. Diano for £5 says ongoing oversaturation of low effort content. I would agree, in particular with things like Boba Fett. Radioactive for 10 says charge conspiracy to convert and destroy an American cultural icon through character assassination and plot corruption.
Yeah, I mean that's essentially what the Disney live action movies are. It's to take Walt's entire catalog and fix them. You know,
there's over 800 watching right now, 800 in the chat. Smash that like button. Let's get this recommended. Let's get over 1,000 people watching if we can. Recommend it to your friends. We're just laying out the charges, and then we're going to put that out there. We're going to invite people to argue both sides. This is not going to be, this is going to be very interesting.
Yeah.
When we get to the, well, on that note, Wes RM1 says, who is coming on to defend Disney Star Wars?
That's a really good question.
I know a couple people. Paulie from Latino Slant, he's probably going to come on, but they're going to come on to defend a particular charge. Okay, so it's not just like, it's like, which charge are you going to defend? And because we want to keep it focused to that argument.
Right. These are witnesses essentially.
Exactly.
Like we need someone who's Star Wars Lucasfilm's defense attorney.
Oh, wait a sec. This is great. It says Matt Walsh shouted you out today as the closest thing to an actual credible reviewer who reviewed his film on his show or on social media. Let us know.
I think he said sounds like it was his show.
Oh, that's great. Well, maybe filmed. Look, we're going to review Louis C.K.'s new movie. He has a movie coming out next week called 4th of July that takes place during the 4th of July. We reviewed Terror on the Prairie. We also, by the way, reviewed a documentary recently about drag queens. Okay. If you send it to us, we're going to review it, good or bad. You know, our focus is independent film, and independent film crosses many sides of the political landscape. And I'm fond of saying Film Thread is politically agnostic. And what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to say, because my political beliefs are different, I'm not going to review Matt Walsh's or discuss Matt Walsh's new film? Is that what I'm supposed to do? Should I be doing that? Should we not review movies that could be controversial? That's our job. The cowardice of modern critics today is just, I'm sick to my stomach thinking of it. And I'm actually not even saying that we're brave for doing it. I feel like we're just doing the baseline.
We're just doing our job. We're doing our job.
Just the baseline. We're just going to cover it. We're just covering it. What's surprising to me is these people that are too afraid to review Matt Walsh's film, at the very least, could have reviewed it and given it a bad review and revealed their biases. I know that sometimes and we have reviewers on all sides of the political spectrum, by the way. All sides.
Yeah. We have a pro-abortion. We have a review for a pro-abortion documentary coming up in the next week. We have to cover the breadth of this political spectrum.
If it's out there, we're going to cover it. Okay. So now I have my own views. I try to keep them in check when it comes to certain things, or at least like sort of know where some blind spots may be. But I'm not perfect when it comes to this, so we like to assign a movie for review to someone who would be a good person to review that. We've got more than 30 writers that write for us, and they're all over the place. they're all over the place.
Absolutely.
But yeah, wow, that's great. Thank you for that. That's really
Okay,
great.
so it's not on his Twitter account, so it must have been
Must have been on the show. Well, I'll have to see that. Let's see. Sir Clive Calculator for £2 said sidelining and ignoring Ben Burt. Yeah, I don't know. Did they sideline Ben Burt? I don't know. I know Matthew Wood is the other guy who did the sound, who I believe I've met Matthew Wood before. I mean, I don't know. Like, is he not like, the other thing is that like a lot of things. I don't know the specifics of that. I want to make sure, and I don't know how that could be a charge, but I hear what you're saying.
Well, like, I mean, if they're using IKEA chairs, then they certainly can't afford Ben Burt.
That's true. But thank you for that, Sir Clive Calculator. Switching gears, Will Clavette for £5 says, "Hey Chris, loved RRR. Cheers for the tip. For Star Wars, I would say totally incoherent storytelling and new characters with zero or negative story development." I think that's covered in the first few charges. Yeah. And thank you for that, Will. Part of our job at Film Threat is to make you aware of movies you should read. Alan has a great review on the Film Threat website of RRR, right?
Absolutely. It's amazing.
It's amazing.
It's the best.
It's so good. It's a classic Hollywood movie. So yeah, we're gonna go probably another 45 minutes here, because we got a lot of this is we don't normally always have this many people watching us. Over 800 now in the live chat. So smash that like button, and we appreciate that. I appreciate all of you watching right now. I hope to make this a fun thing that we can do together. We're gonna need your help. This is, you are the jury. You are the jury. Everyone here is the jury, and we're gonna go charge by, when we do our final arguments and we go through the charges, we're going to go through charge by charge, guilty, not guilty on each charge. And we're going to rewrite these charges so that they're much more specific. Alan's doing his best based on your suggestions.
Yeah. And we can certainly combine a few of these charges as well.
We're going to probably combine them, make the language more concise. So there you go. The Bad Bandito Robert Lewis says, "Chris, I started writing my first script and I don't know shit about screenwriting." That's how everybody starts. Any workshops you would recommend? 2 things recommend the Bad Bandito. 1, I'm going to recommend that you contact me directly. I generally respond to a question within about 24 hours because I am a zero inbox guy. So go to filmthreat.com/contact. Contact me. I'm going to send you an essay I wrote about how to write a book. And it's about basically creating a structure and a discipline so that you're able to complete your project. Because it doesn't matter if it's good. Have you seen movies? We've all
Have you seen Kenobi?
Have you seen Kenobi? It doesn't matter if it's good. You know what it matters? If you finish. It matters if you finish. So through this essay that I will send you, I just ask for, anyone can do this, by the way. Let's go to filmthreat.com and just say, you can just do general, just say, "Hey, Chris, looking for that essay about how to write a book." I will email you back. The second thing I would recommend is a website. I would recommend a website called inktip.com. Look up inktip.com. Inktip is a resource for screenwriting. No, I'm going to recommend 2 more resources. Inktip.com is a resource specifically for screenwriters. So let's say you finish your screenplay, you have your log line, which is like 2 or 3 sentences of what the movie is. If the genre is horror, here's the story, whatever. Inktip connects screenwriters with producers. So I'm a producer. I've got $1 million project. I'm looking for a horror movie that takes place on a lake at an abandoned house. Why? Because the main investor of the movie has a house that he's trying to make popular on Airbnb. I'm not making this up, okay? This happened to me once. So specifically looking for a certain type of script. And it connects producers with screenwriters. The other resource I would recommend is a website. Look this up. It's called Lit Reactor. Lit Reactor is L-I-T, the word reactor. It's a support system for writers of all types, novelists, or people who write articles, journalists, also screenwriters, all types of creative writing. Lit Reactor was created by someone you might know named Chuck Palahniuk. I have subscribed to the Lit Reactor newsletter for years. Oh my God, years. And Chuck Palahniuk, you probably know, he wrote novels like Survivor, Diary, Fight Club, which was made into a movie. So he created this as sort of a workshop for writers, and they do workshops. They actually do workshops online. They do like a writing workshop, like a retreat. It is one of the greatest resources for aspiring writers ever in terms of just talking about all the inside baseball of being a creative writer. So look up litreactor.com, subscribe to their email newsletter, go to inktip.com to look to connect your screenplay to a producer. And then number 3, contact me directly at filmthreat.com/contact. I'll send you an essay. I'm not going to tell you what to write, or how, I'm going to tell you how to be disciplined and to finish. Finish. It's the only thing that matters is if you finish a book, if you finish your short film, if you finish your screenplay, if you finish your movie. Look, I'm in the middle of it right now. I'm trying to finish this movie that is going to screen during San Diego Comic-Con. I'm trying to finish 2 movies, actually.
Yeah.
But the other one's going to be out next year at a film festival. If you are at San Diego Comic-Con, if you're at San Diego Comic-Con, if you're at San Diego Comic-Con on Thursday, July 21st at 7 p.m., there will be a screening of Attack of the Dock. It's the rough cut of the movie. We're looking to lock picture in August. What will help us toward locking pictures so we can do the color correction and sound is your reaction to the movie. And we're hoping we're going to screen a cut that's not longer than 90 minutes so that we can get really specific feedback. I'm excited for an audience to see this movie. It's not going to look very good. You know, it's like a rough cut, but if you've ever seen a rough cut of the movie, it's going to be a lot of fun. More details on that will be coming out because Nerdrotic Nooner is a part of that event. So we're in a 200 plus seat theater. And if you're interested, so there you go. I hope that answered your question.
Let me just add one more.
Thanks, Alan.
To the first script, watch our interview with Stephen Merchant. The last question I asked him was this specific question: what do you do with that script you just finished? And we talked 10 minutes about what to do with that first script. It's a great interview, very encouraging. So definitely watch that one.
Right.
It's on the Film Threat YouTube channel here. Stephen Merchant.
Here we go. Precisional Power says force healing was a force power in KOTOR.
I do remember that.
All right.
I do remember that.
Canon. Yeah. There you go. Wokey be bad for $10. Ryan Cannell and Nerdrotic should argue against Disney. I already asked Ryan to do the show. So Ryan, I'm going to lay out the charges. I'm going to send them to certain people. I'm going to say, which would you like to argue? So, and then I'm going to be looking for people to argue against. But yeah, Wookiee be bad. We're thinking along the same lines. Let's start from the top here and look at these.
Yeah,
we're going to get to as many of these chats as we can. Definitely the super chats. Will Veg 1982 for 10 pounds. Hiring people without care, creativity, or originality leading to the theft of ideas and the breaking of internal consistency, not only with the original trilogy, but even with their own work. Now, I hear what you're saying. I don't know how to distill that into a charge. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it has something to do with the lack of excellence in filmmaking or the lack of just standard storytelling. And I'm not sure which charge we have this under.
Games by Mark Wolf for $5 says, I just offered to play Defense for Disney. Not sure what happened to my last 2 super chats that were not shown. No joke. Email me. Well, email us. Go to filmthreat.com/contact. But the thing is, I haven't gone through all the super chats yet. I'm getting through them. So I don't think I missed it. Flaccid Phoenix will let me know. Thank you for that, Mark. Mark Wolf will have you on. I know a couple people. I don't want to say their names right now, but there will be people coming on for the defense. And this is not going to be a traditional trial. We're not going by, Robert's Rules of Order or that kind of thing. Although when I say Robert, I might even mean Robert Meyer Burnett. But yeah, games by Mark Wolf. Yes, we're looking for people to defend Disney and Star Wars. Luther Talbert for $10 says, I saw your interview on Film Courage and came across your interview with Ryan Cannell, which brought me here. Enjoying myself. Great job, guys. Thank you, Luther Talbert. I also did an interview last week with Carrie Smith on Deprogrammed. And I've watched her for a number of years, and she always has interesting people on, which is why I'm shocked I was on the show. But thank you for that. I appreciate it. TTA for $5 says, charge, breach of verbal contract with Lucas. This is, Alan, you got to get this one in there. Yeah. I don't know where it fits. Breach of verbal contract with Lucas. Kennedy agreed to Lucas that the characters were to live on in future installments. See, I think some of this has to do with Disney's greed, and more than likely the likenesses of Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Mark Hamill are owned by them, so that, say, for example, the Timothy Zahn books that had those amazing paintings on the cover that featured Han, Luke, and Leia. I remember reading those in the 90s and thinking, oh my God, these are going to be the Star Wars sequels. They're going to finally make them. I read those books. With just the Star Wars soundtracks playing in the background. I'm sure I was not alone in this. Those Timothy Zahn novels are amazing. And you could have certainly, and Grand Admiral Thrawn, there's a reason a character created more than 20 years ago. Wait, when was the Thrawn series? Can you look that up, Alan? When was the Thrawn series? And Alan does a great job, by the way. I just want to let you know.
Oh, yeah.
For everyone saying bad things about Alan in the chat, hush your mouth. Alan does a great job. He knows I love to, we're just like brothers that like to pick on each other and goof on each other.
You talking about the Thrawn trilogy, or
the Thrawn trilogy, written by Timothy Zahn?
Yeah, I mean, saying 2020, is that right? Does that sound right?
No, that's just a reissue.
Okay.
The original novels, my recollection, was it late 90s, something like that?
Some of that. I know we've.
When was it published? Someone in the chat.
I'm looking up.
Knows this. Someone in the chat is better at searching for things than Alan.
Yeah.
But this needs to be in their breach of verbal contract with Lucas. Alan, please add TTs to our charges. And we're going to do a very spiffy graphic, and we're going to do this spiffy. Who the hell uses the word spiffy? I might as well have said yippee. Feel free to mock me for that one. Spiffy. We're going to do, we're going to take this Google Doc. We're going to distill these into very specific things, and we're going to introduce Critics Court, and we're going to argue this case. Breach of verbal contract with Lucas is, you got to put that in there, Alan.
I did put that in there.
Okay, good. Thank you for that, TT. Yeah. That one is really, the more specific the charge is and the fewer number of words you can state it, I think the more powerful it is, because then it becomes irrefutable. TT for 5. Another one. Death of a franchise is more than just movies. A theme park without legacy characters. This guy, TT, loving this guy. Death of a franchise is more than just movies. A theme park without legacy characters? I would say question mark on that. Closing down LucasArts, which made more money than the movies. Alan, add it in there. This comment, it needs to be part of one of our charges. I think it fits as a subcategory, but that's excellent.
I know we have one of the charges about that.
Yeah, it's the theme. I mean, yeah, I remember going to Galaxy's Edge. I wrote an article about it. And you should look it up. 5 ways to improve. I think it was like 5 or 10 ways to improve Galaxy's Edge. And I wrote kind of my review of it and how terrible I thought it was. And I basically said it's like an outdoor shopping mall. I even did a video of it. Here, you want to hear my review? You want to get my review of Galaxy's Edge? Wait, I got to find the video here. Wait, here, I'm going to find...
You can't really get much more boob like that.
Everything I see reminds me of her. That's not the video.
Everywhere I go, I can't stop thinking about her.
No, there's a video. Where is it? Look, here's a quick reminder. Look how cheap those chairs are. Does anyone like Flaccid Phoenix put this together? We have to. That is just, yeah, I can't find, you know what? I think this might be in a different branding. Let me throw it up just for a second. Let's switch this just for a second. No one's going to know about this. I have to find this video for you because it's worth it. This is my review of Galaxy's Edge. Well, okay, I'll give it a try. Oh, no. It's great. I told you I loved it. I loved it. Everyone who went to Galaxy's Edge and the Star Wars Galaxy Hotel, they all loved it. So there you go. Thank you, TT. Flying in hot with these great takes. I love it. Geek Chat 1 for $10 says, defending some of these would be fun. If you have room, I am in. Can't wait to see all of this play out. Yeah, we're gonna have room for. We're gonna have people arguing for the murder. Arguing against Disney and then defending Disney.
Yeah, and we need defenders. So clearly, we do.
Defenders because I got more.
Do we have a defense attorney yet, or have we thought about that?
Oh, I already know someone, but I don't want to mention their name.
Okay,
that is lurked in our chat before. That is going to be invited on. So Geek Chat, please reach out to us. And Chris Potter points out, and Chris Potter, angling for Alan's job, says,
I don't know why. Everywhere I go, here's what I do. I take everything. Everywhere I go, Alan. It's 2017.
No, that's wrong.
I know.
Original publication date.
Well, it's too late. It's already May 1st. 1991.
It's Chris Potter, originally published May 1st, 1991. Chris Potter. I don't know if I can have two Chris's on the show. That might be confusing for people. If Chris will change his name to Alan, we would have a new Alan. One who knows how to use Google. Seriously, Alan, did you know how to use you put in quotes?
Everywhere I go, it's saying 2017.
Original publication date. That's wrong.
I know it's wrong. That's why I'm not posting it up there.
Thank you for that, Chris Potter.
Stupid.
Here we go. All these people. Accelerator Zon trilogy started in 91. Thank you, Accelerator, or as I like to call him, the new Alan. You love it, Alan. You love it.
Oh yeah, it's I look forward to this every week.
Oh come on, we're having fun. I just want to make sure I'm scrolling down here, so everyone can see these charges. We have and we're gonna work on this. We're just getting this down. Ani Chape for $2 says the food at Docking Bay 94 was good, but not for $32. Everything is overpriced at Disneyland. Absolutely. Everything's overpriced. Will Veg 1982 for £5, bringing back Palpatine, cheapening Vader's sacrifice, and lessening the achievement of Han, Luke, and Leia et al. That needs to be in there.
Which one? Cheapening of?
Bringing back Palpatine, cheapening Vader's sacrifice. This is weird. First of all, we've never created a Google Doc together with like 800 people. So this is interesting.
Did you notice in episode 6 that Palpatine referred to Vader as his friend? Does that make sense to you, or
my friend? Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Mr. Swick says, "Hang in there, Alan." Alan's doing great. He just needs to learn Google. That's all. Piano for £2 says, "Creating Geode the sentient rock." One of the dumbest ideas. It's pretty dumb. Someone should on Etsy should make action figures. $1.99 JS Pena says, didn't the Warp Zone do something similar to this? I don't know. I don't know about the Warp Zone. Did someone put Lucasfilm on trial? I don't know. But I'm doing it it's the first time for me. So there you go. But JS Pena, I don't think it's completely original to sort of like put something on trial, right? But could be.
Yeah, wasn't there a short film like The People versus George Lucas?
Oh, The People versus George Lucas. You're thinking of the movie, The People versus George Lucas. So there you go.
So it's not original there, yeah.
Eddie Rodriguez for 5 says Thrawn Trilogy 1990s, along with the Hand of Thrawn duology. The new canon has 2 new trilogies of Thrawn with Zahn as writer. Why did they get rid
and
of
those were written in 2017?
I'm sure that's there, but they just, what they'll do is this is a republication. So what edition, right?
I know. Well, they name it.
It may have been
they threw the Thrawn in there.
It may have been reissued by Disney. So thank you, Eddie Rodriguez.
Yeah. And by the way, RRR is Tollywood, not Bollywood.
Oh no, Zahn is a sellout, says Ryan Cannell. Ryan Cannell will be arguing one of these charges. Ryan, I will get with you. We are laying out case number 1138, the fans versus Lucasfilm Disney for the murder of the Star Wars franchise. And we have several charges that you might want to debate. You might want to debate some of these charges, Ryan. I will be reaching out to you as we get ready to do this. I want to get through all your super chats as we are looking to wrap up. Jillian N for $1.99 says death ceasing to matter in the Star Wars universe. I think that makes a lot of sense, Jillian N. When there are no stakes, that makes sense. Masters of the Nerddom for $2 says Leia ignoring Chewie after Han's death. I gotta say, that was horrific.
That could have been a moment.
Southeastern Kaiju for 5 says Disney Star Wars, it wasn't made for you fans. It was made for all of us. Me, I was a fan long ago, before the dark times. Well, that reflects a lot of how I feel there. Frightful Fest of Fears for 5 says I would charge them for giving me a migraine dealing with all their nonsense on Twitter. That shocks me. It's like, it's one thing all this stuff is bad, or all this stuff is just sort of frustrating, but then the fact that they attack people on social media, I've never, like, can you name any other company that does that? So it's weird. So
are we gonna have a punitive damages phase to our trial?
What are the damages? I think that we have to make it a point to abandon it is what it is. That everyone, if you're voting, you have stakes in this. And the stakes may be we don't talk about Star Wars anymore. Maybe that's the stakes. Maybe we talk about things like RRR that are more positive. Talk about, last week, Alan and I reviewed 4 movies back to back, and we liked all of them. In fact, I saw Elvis again for a second time in the theater, even better the second time. I actually liked it a lot more. The flaws didn't stand out as much to me. Geek Chat 1 for 5. It is tempting to try and defend against all these charges. Can't wait to see this play out. Well, Geek Chat, more than likely, you're going to be arguing in the defense. Vicidius for $4.99. Here's a charge. Hiring former Harvey Weinstein, former personal assistant, Leslie Headland, to make a female-centric Star Wars series. Well, I don't know, I don't know how you make that a charge. I just think it's, meaning we haven't seen it yet, right? I'd like everything to be concrete, meaning it's visible, it's in front of our face. You can see it, right? You can see it right in front of your face. And since that series isn't out yet, and there's a good chance, how many things has Disney announced that didn't happen?
Oh, they do it all the time. Go to D23. Half the stuff never makes it. Every announcement at D23.
They announce it, people get, so I think there might be a good chance that may not ever happen. Masters of the Nerddom is back for 5, says charge hiring hack writers that wrote really bad fan fiction filled with woke ideology. That is true. Let's see. CD Stein 69 for $4.99 says make sure to add the changing of Anakin's Force Ghost to Hayden Christensen. No one is safe from this prosecution. I don't know. Did Lucas do that?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I want to keep this focused on Disney. There's already a movie called The People versus George Lucas. There's also a movie which I recommend, it's not a sequel, but it's like a follow-up called The Prequels Strike Back. If you're a prequels fan, watch this documentary called The Prequels Strike Back. It is a prequel fan who was a kid who didn't have internet access. And then when he finally got internet access after the prequels came out, couldn't believe that people disliked the prequels. So there you go. Will Vig just sends in £1. All right, Will, I'm sure you did a chat before, so we got you. Games by Mark Wolf for 5 says, I hate Disney Star Wars, but with my philosophy degree, I'm happy to play defense for Disney in this trial. It'll be a good debate exercise. All right, Mark, you better be up for it. You know how to contact me. Go to filmthreat.com/contact. We're looking for defenders. Radioactive for 10 says, charge racketeering by Disney to unduly influence and threaten the audience with accusations of racism and bigotry if they had a negative views of Disney Star Wars. Yeah, I think that's kind of baked into one of our charges, Radioactive, and thank you for that. Really appreciate that.
Yeah, that would kind of go toward plain disregard for fandom, to the point of threatening the fandom as well.
Yeah, that was just so weird. TT again is back for another hot take. In court, you also have to have evidence of the crime. A big part of why Toys R Us went out of business was because nobody was buying Star Wars toys. That is a fact. That is a fact. So look, I'm going to be the judge. So I will, to the best of my ability, I will remain impartial. Okay. I'm going to remain impartial, and I will be asking questions, and everyone's going to have to, you got to come in prepared. You got to come in prepared in court. Okay. And we'll come up with some basic rules to make it fair, a certain amount of time to present the case, the charges, explain that, show us evidence. You can present video, you can present links, you can present tweets, you can present articles and whatnot. And you're gonna have to be on your toes. The jury is you. The jury is you. You're the one that's deciding. So yeah, I have heard that before. That's what happened. Eddie Rodriguez for 5. We got a couple back to back here. Eddie Rodriguez for another 5. Hiring YA authors for the new expanded universe instead of real sci-fi authors. We went from Ostrander, Lucchino, and Anderson to Wendig, Gray, and Soule. Yeah, I haven't really read any of the new stuff. The New Republic just doesn't personally interest me. It's kind of out of the timeline and just not sure I'm interested. But you're right. I mean, it definitely has eroded the franchise. Eddie again for 10. Charge. Dismantling the expanded universe for a consistent canon and storyline, yet proceeding to create contradictory stories that negate each other, rendering the previous action useless. I mean, really, it's like getting rid of the EU. I mean, that's huge. That's huge. CD Stein 69 for $4.99. I like the prequels, but still should be at a minimum a misdemeanor for Lucas when you consider he is also responsible for the sale. Lucas is going to play a part in this. It's going to play a part in CD Stein 69.
Maybe we can get him as a witness too.
Well, I don't want to ruin
Maybe.
anything. I have some surprise guests that will be joining us, and I don't want to ruin everything. I don't want to ruin surprises that I have. This isn't going to be a traditional trial. Okay. It's not a traditional trial. CD Stein 69 $4.99. Again, maybe use the decanonization of the EU while simultaneously plagiarizing it as a plot point to boost a lame duck script. 100%. Alan, can you reword the one about maybe decanonization? That's a good word.
Okay.
CD Stein. Oh, sorry, I'm getting some. Sorry. Okay, cool. No, my friend's on the way. My friend is on the way. Dante James is on the way. Coming to my place, and we're heading out to see Thor momentarily. And you got to leave soon, Alan.
Yeah.
We're gonna be wrapping this up in the next 10 minutes. Because but unfortunately, I'm gonna have to get through super chats here.
Mhm.
We got some SJ says charge number 10. Failure to imagine heroes aging gracefully into middle age without becoming deadbeat, disappointing failures. Is that?
Hey,
is
I
that,
gotta drop off for a second.
go right ahead. Just put the
Okay.
just put the camera. Kill your camera.
Yeah.
All right, Alan. He's got to take care of some family business here. But we're gonna get through all these. We're gonna wrap up in the next 10 minutes because Alan has to. We're both seeing Thor tonight. We'll post on the channel a quick react, and we'll talk about it along with Louis C.K.'s new movie, which I don't think anybody's reviewing. I actually asked them if we could get Louis C.K. on the show. They said probably not. It is what it is. Deano for £2. How about Anna the Star Wars girl as a prosecutor? All right, let's actually get to these possible prosecutors. Okay, who else? That Star Wars girl. Who else? Who else? These are people I'm going to reach out to. Doesn't mean they'll say yes. But that Star Wars girl, I think is a good thing. If you've got, I'm going to go read through the chat. So if there's but these are usual suspects, I think, but each of them will kind of, and there may be some crossover with like someone's arguing one charge and then it kind of bleeds into another charge because we don't know what the defenders. I'm not going to, you know what? I'm going to make this list later. But I already have people that are stepping up. Alan, is Alan back?
Oh, yeah. I'm back.
All right, good, Alan.
Does that mean, yeah.
Okay. Razor Fist. All right, let's Razor Fist. Thank you for that. Sorry, I can't keep up with this stuff.
Wasn't that from Guardians of the Galaxy?
Razor Fist. Yeah. Okay. We got to get to the super chats because they're because we are going to be wrapping up because Alan and I have to take off to a screening. TT says, I miss John Schnepp. He would have been amazing as a prosecutor. Mm-hmm. I agree. John Schnepp was my friend. John Schnepp is in the Film Threat documentary that's been in the works for almost a decade. I've known John Schnepp since 1994, 93. We met at the Chicago Underground Film Festival. He made a really cool short film there. We became friends in the 90s. Knew him ever since. Amazing guy. And I miss John every day. He really inspired me to like, come on, Gore, get off your ass. Do this stuff. So there you go. I appreciate that, TT. You've contributed quite a bit, and we appreciate it. Mark Absolutely. The Cyborg. Hey, Mark the Cyborg. I know who you are. I know who you are, Mark. X-Ray Girl's husband, Mark, was on EFAP talking about Kenobi last week. And, of course, I know him. He's me. Would you like to be a possible prosecutor, Mark? I'll add you to the list. Can you add Mark the Cyborg to the list? I think I know how to reach you, Mark. And thank you for that. That's great, Mark. That would be awesome. Carnell for 5 says, not sure if you're familiar with the channel, The Den of Nerds. He's been accused of defending Disney Star Wars. Maybe you could reach out to him. And that's okay. Den of Nerds. I have watched Den of Nerds. I like, you know what I like? My favorite kind of diversity? Diversity of thought. Diversity of opinion. I love that. And if you love Disney Star Wars, that's great. You have found something to love in it. I've just been, not only have I been personally disappointed, I don't like to see fans, in particular that Twitter account, vilifying people for not liking an aspect of a TV show. who are you? Who are you who runs that account? And who are the supervisors of that person that thinks it's okay to do that? Carnell, thank you for that. And Den of Nerds, great one for the possible defense. I'm going to add that. Also, feel free to reach out on social media. There is a tweet that we put out a tweet every time we go live. In that thread, could you just add any suggestions or anything we might have missed? I'll also go through. I have some other people I'm going to be adding to the defenders list, and I don't want to say who because I don't want to say who, but that's a very good suggestion. And I think the Den of Nerds, that's okay. It's okay. This is how, look, my goal ultimately is I want us to talk to each other. Whether you agree or disagree, I want us to talk. I want the people who love and have issues with it to discuss these things rather than this, like, you know, devolving into calling people names for loving or hating a TV show or a movie. Marksman of 117B for $4.99. Chris, you gave us RRR, so allow me to give you Brahmastra, Indian superhero movie with each hero and villain blessed by the gods. Epic trailer. I think I saw that trailer, and thank you for that. I have not seen the movie yet, but I make it a point every time a new Indian movie is out to go see it. I saw KGF Chapter 1 and 2, which I thought was awesome.
Is that in theaters now, possibly? Came out this year.
Yeah, so a lot of these things are hitting Prime Video. So they go, CD Stein 69 for $4.99. I won't charge for any of my legal services. Just glad to help. Thank you for that. Deleted Scenes for $5 says, I agree with every word of charge number 6. It's why I'm no longer a fan. Too bad we're not actually bringing Disney Lucasfilm up on charges. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how this case goes in the sense that who knows, it might get some sort of media attention, but the fact that Lucasfilm is not paying close attention to this says a lot. So thank you for that, Deleted Scenes. John Orchard for 10 says, charge Luke wanting to kill his nephew and then abandon being a Jedi. Now, just for a sec, I'm playing devil's advocate. I feel like Luke had a character arc that never finished in Rise of Skywalker, okay? There may have been seeds of a character arc set up where he has some sort of, you know, a redemption arc, so to speak, that never got to finish. It just goes to the other charge of not having the story plotted out. TT just sent in $1. Thank you, TT.
Yeah. Plus, when you only put Luke at the end of Force Awakens,
huge mistake.
You don't have much to work with then at that point.
Jin Karia for $4.99 says, guilty. Crime of retcon of extended universe canon. Yes. Eddie Rodriguez is back. Go progressive, you get Disney. Go conservative, you get Hallmark. Lesson, agendas and ideologies don't make a good story. Focus on good scripts. Respect the canon. I agree. I was on the Nerdrotic Nooner with Gary Beekler, and he was like, Star Wars isn't for kids. Star Wars is for everyone. And when you look at the first two, when you look at, the original Star Wars, I mean, that was for everybody. I loved it when I was a kid. My dad loved it because he loved anything science fiction. He was a big NASA fan, loved the original Star Trek series from the 60s. So there you go. But Alan and I are going to spend some considerable time working on this. And we're going to make it, I really want these charges to go, oh, when you hear it, you go, oh, wow, Disney did do that. And then I want to hear what the defense is. I feel like we have an opportunity to have a conversation together, maybe put some of these arguments to rest, or maybe new sides of the argument that we didn't necessarily consider at the top. We got to wrap up in about 5 minutes here. So,
I mean, this should not be a foregone conclusion. We should have both sides presented here.
And there are going to be multiple charges. Disney could win some of those arguments because you, the audience, are the jury. Paul Tompkins for £179 says, make this a series of yays versus nays, a weekly, please. Yes, what we're planning on, and this is more than likely we're going to start after the holiday, the 4th of July holiday. So we're looking at probably starting on July 12th. It'll be a new show. on the channel, and this new show will be Critics Court. Otherwise, maybe we'll get rid of our Hollywood on the Rock stream. We're going to figure it out, and we will make an announcement in the community tab. Also look on social media. This will be a weekly show. Each week, someone comes on to argue one charge and defend also Disney and Lucasfilm. So yes, Paul, you read my mind, but we're not going to start immediately. We really want to do like a new video, and we are looking for someone to kind of edit together a little intro video. We're going to do a new branding package that we're going to put together. So we'll have like new videos and whatnot, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So we will keep you informed on this. So there you go. Happy Sanjo for $2 says, most important, nothing was planned out. Simple.
Yep.
There's evidence of that. Present the evidence. Paul Lucas for 20. Thank you. Number 1, failure to outline the whole sequel trilogy from the beginning. Number 2, rejection of the original sequel outline from George Lucas.
Yep. That's charge number 3. That's charge number
3. Let me get 1, 2, and 3 up on screen. Maybe part of 4 here if we can fit that. You know what I can do? We can fit a little bit more on screen if I change the size. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah. I don't know that people can read that, but
I don't know if you can read it. I'm sorry. Let's go maybe back to like is that better?
Yeah.
We can at least see 1, 2, 3, and 4. Is that work? All right. That 5. We're gonna work on these. Okay. We're gonna put out like, this is what we're doing. We'll have a schedule. We'll let people know the dates, and we're gonna do it just like a trial. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. We'll have closing arguments, the verdicts, and the verdict show is going to be where you vote on all the charges. Okay. Joseph Stanridge for 2 says the Johnny Cochran of the legal team, Eric July. I'm adding him to the prosecutors. I've been on streams with Eric. I've never actually asked him to, a lot of these, I've done other people's shows. I've never asked them to do my show. So this is my first time doing this. So,
but it sounds like he's not watching the series. I don't think he's seen any of the.
I don't know that he's seen enough, but that'd be great.
Yeah.
Look, you know what I'm going to do? Everyone should dress up too. Everyone has to dress up. And the other thing that I want to do, everyone tell me if you think this is a good idea. During the live stream, I want to get, I'll be in a judge's robe. Alan will be there kind of running things along with Flaccid Phoenix. And I want to have someone doing, how like in a courtroom you do drawings of people? I want to have someone doing, and so then we'll have like other people that'll be bigger on screen. Like, let's say, Alan, if you're like presenting your case, you'll be bigger on screen. And then we'll have someone on a live stream drawing drawings of the people. And then maybe we can sell those pieces of art for charity or something. Praxiums for $4.99 says, I would eliminate the hiring of KK because George handpicked her. Absolutely. Let's see.
I think there, though, you can make a negligence charge.
Negligence? Yeah. Possibly. And CD Stein 69 for a final, unless there are other super chats I missed. CD Stein 69 for $19.99 says, first degree, premeditated murder of an entire franchise definitely needs to be one of the biggest charges in this case. By the way, was listening to you, Chris, on the other stream and totally agree with all you guys. All right. Well, there you go. Alan, here we are. This is going to be our new show coming up. This is going to be different than anything we've ever done. We're gonna, we're gonna. What am I doing here? Sorry. If there's any other final chats here I missed, we'll get to those.
Look, I love law programs. This is right up my wheelhouse here. I'm looking forward to it.
This is going to be very serious. Okay, it's very serious charges.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be like, maybe we should go by Krypton rules. We should have like a little hula hoop with Star Wars on it.
I'm sure we could build that. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I think that this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, and Biscuits Want Biscuits ending. This should be bigger than Depp versus Heard. I think so. Nick Rekieta. I do want to invite Nick Rekieta on the stream. I think maybe he would be probably one of our last prosecutors in this case, because Nick Rekieta famously hates Star Wars. I think like to kick off with Nick might, but I'll say this: we're gonna have some interesting people as prosecutors and some interesting defenders. Perhaps some of you in the audience. I want to thank you all for watching today. And here you go. This is how we begin this. We'll be sharing this document as a little graphic, a shareable graphic or meme, so to speak. Once we want to make the language very concise, and you are a part of this. I want to thank you, Alan, for all you do.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun. I'm excited for this.
The Zahn series, which started in 2017, according to Alan.
Yeah, that's what Google's telling me at the moment.
But this is going to be a blast. I'm looking forward to it. I want to thank you all in the chat. A lot of super chats today. This is going to be a regular show. Oh, wait, here we go. Another one. Games by Mark Wolf for 2 says, I would love Spectre Creative on my defense team. Whoever you want, defense team. It's going to be very serious. But thank you, Games by Mark Wolf. That's it for us today. I'm going to wrap it up. Deanno is here with a quick super chat for £5. Says, off topic, Corridor crew have posted a breakdown of RRR. RRR filled with special effects. Love RRR. Can't wait to check it out. Alan, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at mypal Instagram, FilmThread Alan, and on filmthread.com we post reviews daily. At least 3 to 5 reviews every day.
Great. And I am that Chris Gore on everything. I want to thank you all. You can hear me on Midnight's Edge in the morning on Mondays. I am on the Nerdrotic Nooner with Gary on Wednesday, whenever Wednesday noon, depending on your time zone. And Film Thread Wednesday nights or Wednesday afternoon, we do our Hollywood on the Rock show, which is a lot of fun. On Fridays, we do our Film Threat live cast where we review movies opening in theaters. So join us for that. And I'll see you at San Diego Comic-Con. And I'll be at the AMC Burbank 16 tonight. I'll be at happy hour at
I'll be there too.
I'm going to be at happy hour soon. Alan, I'll see you in a couple hours.
Yeah, well, I'll see you there.
If not sooner. All right. Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate it. You really make this show so much fun to do every week. And the Critics Court, we hope that you'll join us when we're going to kick off in a couple of weeks. Thank you so much. Take care, everybody. And what do you like to say?
Let's get out of here.